During his visit to Estonia, President Andrzej Duda talked with President Alar Karis and Prime Minister Kaja Kallas about supporting Ukraine in European integration and granting it the status of a candidate for the European Union. We can apply various modern solutions that are painful for Russia, which show Russia clearly that it does not rule the world and will not rule the world, and especially our world. Therefore, we talked with the president about energy connections. That is why we talked, because we hope for a very close expansion of NATO, with neighbors from Finland and also from Sweden. Russia wanted to weaken the European Union and NATO. Through this aggression, they achieved the exact opposite. The EU and NATO are more united and stronger than ever before. Support for Ukraine was also the main topic of the Third Lithuanian-Polish Council of Defense Ministers. During the meeting, the directions for the development of military cooperation between Poland and Lithuania were indicated. Russia has committed and is committing crimes in Bucha. The presence of NATO forces on the eastern flank must be greater and constant. We make a great contribution to the activities, ensuring the security of Poland and Lithuania, as well as NATO. Increasing defense spending is a challenge, but it can scare the aggressor. Finland, on the other hand, officially announced its decision to join NATO. After yesterday's declaration by the president of Finland, the process of joining the North Atlantic Alliance is to be accelerated. President Sauli Niinisto emphasized that this would be a turning point in his country's history.
Joining NATO would be not against anybody. We would like to maximize our security in way or another while thinking membership in NATO.
The Finnish government will probably formally decide to apply for NATO membership on Sunday.
Well, it means that, of course, now, before the NATO membership, our military is taking care of our own defense. During the application process, our military takes care of the defense, and even after the NATO membership, it's at the first hand our own military. But, of course, then that would mean more help.
U.S. President Joe Biden points out that Finland's NATO membership would benefit U.S. national security.
Finland is a critical partner of the United States, a strong defense partner as well, a partner to NATO, especially on strengthening security of the Baltic Sea area.
Sweden is also considering the candidacy of its country to the political and military alliance. Today, the Swedish government presented a parliamentary report consulted with the opposition, which indicated that Sweden's accession to the alliance would have a stabilizing effect and would benefit the states bordering the Baltic Sea.
I think you really must analyze the new situation, do it very seriously, think about the consequences, the pros and cons of all potential ways forward, and I think you have to be very serious in this work. This is exactly where we are right now.
The reason why this happened is not Finland's, what they are doing. The reason is what Russia are doing, that they have started a war in Ukraine. That's the fundamental thing, 100%. They are the bad guys. They are doing the bad things that we have to react on in some way.
The accession of Finland and Sweden to NATO was supported by many NATO member states. These are decisions and discussions that must take place in each country. But it is clear to us that if these two countries decide to join NATO, they can count on our support.
It's worth emphasizing that if Sweden were attacked and looked to us for help and support, then we would provide it. But it's up to Sweden to...
Let me say this is a particularly important time for the long-standing and strong and vital partnership between the United States and Sweden.
In turn, the G7 foreign ministers agreed during their meeting in Germany that the pressure on Russia should be maintained through further sanctions. This terrible aggressive war, contrary to international law, means not only a deep crisis for the whole of Europe, but a global crisis. And that is precisely the goal of the president of Russia, to use this crisis to divide the whole world community. Today, we are sending a clear signal to Ukraine. We see you, we hear you, and we support you. We are not at war with Russia. Russia is at war with Ukraine. There is an aggressor and a victim of aggression, and we support the attacked side. We will continue our initiatives supporting Ukraine in the military and financial sectors. During the G7 summit, it was declared that the European Union would provide Ukraine with military support worth €500 million. Financial aid is to be allocated to heavy weapons, including tanks and artillery.